Good afternoon and welcome to Discus. We're looking at STEM content in Discus this afternoon. This is going to be a pretty brief, about a half-hour overview of STEM content for K through 12 that you can easily find in our Discus resources. I am Linda Heimberger, the Electronic Resources Training and Outreach Coordinator, and I appreciate you all attending this afternoon. We will also have this posted to our online archives if you would like to review some of the materials or tell your colleagues about it. I do want to let you know that there is a file also relating to this. I'm just going to pull that up for you to be able to see. And you'll see within this file, it's just a breakdown little sheet for you to be able to tell some of the key STEM features that we obviously won't be able to cover it all today, but you'll notice that I do have it in alphabetical order by resource, and then the grade level is going to appear next. And notice that I actually have bolded the text for some of the key elements within the individual databases, such as BrainPop Junior, Britannica School. You can see with Credo reference some of our STEAM jobs and STEM Everyday book series. These are going to be highlighted in today's session. But I just wanted to let you know that we've just kind of summarized for you what you're going to be able to find in each of these resources. This will be emailed out to each of you at the conclusion of this session. If you have any questions at all during the session or after the session, please do type those in. There, using your software, you can expand the tools there at the top of your screen to be able to view all of those. I do have a few slides here to kind of start off the show and tell you about who we are. I'm Linda Heimberger. Jessica Ogborn is our customer support specialist. So if you have any trouble with the technology using our databases, if you need to make sure that we have your current IP addresses or anything to assure your seamless connection to the Discus portal, you would contact Jessica, and Patricia Sinclair is our electronic resources manager. So this is what we're going to try to cover today. Background information for STEM will be first. We will look at videos and images and other types of audio files and pieces that can support your students and your teachers in the teaching and learning STEM process. And then finally, we will highlight some of the informational text that as well that your students will be able to find as they are learning to pull together resources and create citations for their materials. So for background information, a good place to start is in our opposing viewpoints in context. This is if your students are grades 6 to 12 in that range. There is a very good overview of STEM education in opposing viewpoints. And you can see here along the center of your screen that you're going to be able to find different aspects from STEM education, from magazines, newspaper articles, academic journals, videos, primary sources, viewpoints, and statistical information. So that's one nice place to start an overview for those in 6th through 12th grades. You can see to our right, we also have a list for other great places for background information. Britannica School is great to show basic concepts for robotics, mathematical concepts, technology tools, and those kinds of things. Credo reference topic pages, biography and context, and the Smart Search interface for EBSCO will also provide some good tools. Science Reference Center is going to give you some background information, but it's also going to be a lot more in-depth published articles as well. So Credo Reference Mind Map Search is a great place to start for any topic. In this example, we have the periodic table, but you could just as easily type in mathematics as your mind map search and be able to break out different aspects of addition, multiplication, all the way through concepts like Pythagorean theorem, geometry, those kinds of things. So this is a great place for about your 5th graders on up through 12th graders to kind of start and break out concepts within a science, technology, engineering, or mathematic topic. You'll notice on the right when we look at the periodic table is highlighted in the center. So on the right, all of those articles within are about 800 reference books now in Credo Reference. Those topics are going to be pulled from those books that the students can then use. And we will go live into that in a moment. You can also do a Credo Reference topic page search, and we'll go through that process as well. The topic pages in Credo Reference are going to give a very long, thorough article, really getting a deep dive into what that concept or what that topic is within STEM. And then from there, you can move to a mind map tool, you can move to individual articles, individual videos, etc. within Credo Reference. Research starters are also available through EBSCO, and the easiest way to locate these is to search from your Smart Search in Discus, and I'll show you, I'll point that out to you as well. But this will give you a good overview of the topic along with additional video, pictures, and abilities to filter out the results by Lexile levels and other useful tools. So that's pretty much background that we're going to look at today. I do want to mention for you, those of you in K through 5 that are looking at STEM topics, Kids Infobits, linked from the grade level elementary page on Discus or linked from your A to Z list, is going to be a great place for your younger students who are learning how to pull research articles, videos, etc. With the STEM topics. So I'm just going to list out some of our databases that are relevant to technology. BrainPop Junior with 8 technology movies. Kids Infobits, as I mentioned just briefly a moment ago. Learning Express Library also has computer skills tutorials for your students that will be learning early concepts in basic networking, how to use the internet, how to use Excel, how to use all of the Microsoft suite. And we have that for Microsoft 2013 and also for some of the previous versions in case your students are using prior versions of the Word suite and Microsoft Office suite, so they can learn about Outlook, they can learn about using Word, etc. Biography and Context is going to obviously give you biographical information that really covers the gamut of STEM, from scientists, technologists, surveyors, STEM analysts, mathematicians. Computer sources you'll find on the handout that I mentioned that will be mailed to you or emailed to you. Computer sources more for your upper level students in high school, but they do pull a lot of current trends in technology and trade magazines and journals and other articles. And the Academic Search Premier as well is going to be for your upper level students. Applied Science and Technology is probably really going to be best for your teachers who may be looking for advanced sorts of information with technology. Education Full Text, that some of you may have well used when you were in college in South Carolina, getting your education degrees. We still have access to Education Full Text. It has some great pedagogical articles on STEM education, STEM lesson planning, etc. And then finally, Learn 360 has 4 different categories within technology application, history, careers, design, that is going to include interactives and videos. So that's just kind of a snapshot view for you there. Notice I've sort of laid out the same list here for mathematics of where you would actually find additional resources as well. The one that I will highlight here is the Culturegrams one at the bottom. There is the ability to create data tables, work with a currency converter, work with time zones and other things that are interactive that also contribute to data literacy just for backgrounds for STEM topics. Learn 360, as you know, includes videos, and these are the main categories within Learn 360 that are going to be covered for STEM topics. And then there are additional science resources where you will find your science experiments in BrainPop Junior, Kids Infobits Science Reference Center. So those are going to be appropriate to grade level there, obviously, as well. Controversial issues in science can be found in the Opposing Viewpoints and Context, our Points of View Reference Center, and our new Pro-Con real-time reference headlines that you'll find in Credo. And that's something that I'll point out to you. Those are very good for the current topics like engineered food and other topics such as that that relate to the science side of STEM. And then finally, science skill building is also available in Learning Express Library in addition to the math skill building that I mentioned before. So I want to point out to you some ways to stay in touch with Discus here so that you will be able to see when we have new trainings, when we have training tips posted. We post a lot of training tips to our Twitter feed. You can certainly follow us on Facebook, and you can also subscribe to our Discus newsletter that's going to give you a lot of information as well. We do have a new database that's just come out last week that we have subscribed to for career transitions, and we're going to be giving you information about that webinar too. And I'm just going to briefly go forward to this screen. So if any of you need to contact me or our Discus Office Help Desk, that information is on your screen. It's also available from the contacts on our website. So I'm going to get out of our little overview introduction slides here. I'm going to go back into our Discus website. I'm just going to go up to the main page here and show you that contact us at scdiscus.org. The contact us will give you all that information to join us on social media or by newsletter or listserv. And I'm going to point out to you, I had mentioned you would use Smart Search to locate some research starters on STEM. That is located at the top of our website for any of you that might be new to this. You can also search by grade level, by subject, or simply by the A to Z list as a breakdown. And finally, I wanted to mention our training online archives are going to be here for you if you want to review this video or any of the ones that we've had previous to this one, or share them out to your colleagues or teachers. And we also have training resources that we are developing, and the handout that I told you about at the beginning of this session will be uploaded to this area where we have subject and topical guides. That STEM handout will be placed here, and we'll also email them out to those of you who are participating live today. So the next step that I want to bring forward to you is I wanted to pull up our Discus news page, back to our main Discus page, and I'm just going to go out to Credo reference here, and if any of you want to open a new tab and play around with it as we go, you're welcome to do that, or to follow me. But within Credo reference, just this month, they have added some excellent resources for STEAM and STEM that I wanted to call your attention to. First, I want to show you the three little lines at the top here will allow you to search those topic pages directly. So when I mentioned to you that you could search on robotics topics pages, that's where you're going to find that. Or if you want to search by titles, I'm going to go ahead and do a titles search here on STEAM Jobs In. This is the new series that I could not wait to tell you all about. That's an excellent online accessible series that you can see. There are breakout books of STEAM marketing jobs, jobs in game development, forensics, wildlife, robotics, social media. I think we have about 8 books here that have just been added to the collection, and they are excellent sources for your students to get exposed to those careers. Each book follows a similar table of contents so that students may get used to looking at the different books if they want to view the different jobs, or if you want to make some library assignments, or you want to make a bibliography that includes the STEAM books here. But you can search, look through the headings. If you want to search, browse the headings of the book, you can do it that way. The students can also search within this title. So if they're looking for a specific word within the title, they can certainly do that also. So if they're looking for any place in the book that mentions skills that you need to have within the book, it will break that out for them. Also, and maybe even more so, that table of contents that you see on the left is going to be a really quick way for them to see that layout of the book that I mentioned. Notice about the first half of these are really specific to the job that's mentioned in the title of the book. And the last half is really the same kind of concept for each job. So they're going to have glossary terms for each one so that students can get exposed to the different kinds of key terms that would be in that field. And there's activities that you can kind of coordinate to work through these books. The Show What You Know piece. The STEAM Job Facts is great for them to really see what kind of skills and knowledge would be appropriate for a robotics engineer, an electrical engineer, a computer scientist, etc. there. And then the other beauty of this book is it is very visual. It's and it's very inviting to the student. And they're going to be able to look at all the visuals, read the different descriptions of the books, and also, as you already know with Credo, with the quotation marks, they'll be able to easily cite where they find their information if they're reporting out on a STEM job. So that's one of the series I really wanted to highlight for you. A second group that is available within Credo is STEM Every Day. And this one is also a great series of books that you can share out to your teachers and use in your library. STEM Every Day, guides to maps, to travel, to weather. So those kinds of skills and knowledge they need to know for STEM related jobs, construction, sports. I think they even have time telling, cooking, math and NASCAR. You can actually make some really cool scavenger hunts based on these books as well for your library and for your library instruction. And within these books, they also have a very similar type of, I'm just going to click on one here. They also have a very similar table of contents. So if they're looking at this particular page to learn about STEM in relation to weather, they can also go to the bottom of that page to be able to see the whole book. So if they go here to the bottom, they can see the title and information there and search again, once again, within that book. So if they are looking at clouds, or they want to see something specific within the book, they can see that it is found in Everyday STEM Guides to Weather there. So that's kind of a nice feature as well. So those two I definitely wanted to highlight to you. For those of you that maybe are in upper level, working with upper level students, actually pre-K all the way through 12th grade, as you know, we did just recently in the summer of 2018 gain access to Learn 360. I just want to quickly show you an easy way as a media specialist or librarian to look at what is in this collection. You do have science experiments that you'll see here on the right. All of these across the top are non-video resources that are interactives, audios, maps, worksheets, and other pieces of information that would really lend itself to STEM. Notice when I click on science experiments, I can limit those by grade level here on the right, so that I can get something that's more specific to a particular age group. For instance, of those 11,800 of them could be appropriate for grades 6 through 8 now. Some of these can be downloaded. Some of these they all can be shared. If you have a Google Classroom, you can share these experiments in Google Classroom or any of the videos here. The other piece that I wanted to point out is if you are working with the younger set from K through 5, there are some great science experiments in Kids Infobits database. So you might want to make note of that. There are science experiments there as well. Notice if we go to our menu up on the top left here, you're going to be able to see the browse videos. For teachers and librarians, this is much easier to use than searching above and hoping to find something. For students that are looking for something in particular, probably the searching is easier. But notice here in the breakout of subjects within Learn 360, you've got biology, you've got earth science here. You also have environmental science. You've got physical science, and then finally, also mathematics videos and technology and society videos. So you have a lot to work with there, also within the STEM piece. And you can see, again, there are 129 on applied mathematics that you can then, again, limit by grade range there on the right. You can also limit for how recent the copyright date is, notice on the right. So I'm just going to do pre-K to 2. So of the 129 videos, 15 of those are relevant to pre-K to 2. So that's something that you can be aware of there. And I also wanted to point out when you look at the non-video related resources, the other media, there are the interactives here and diagrams and fact sheets. So you can certainly take advantage of these as well. There are math activities that are printable that relate to math concepts. That's something else that you can share out to your teachers as well. So you can see that Learn 360 is very robust when it comes to searching for specific materials that are printables, interactives, videos, etc. Are there any questions for me here? Let me see if I can get to the side here and expand this. It looks like I do have a question. How often is this collection updated? The STEAM selection, that is. Okay, that was the one that was in Credo, I believe she's asking about. She or he, I can't see the full name. Andrew. Andrew is asking about. We just received the STEAM collection this month for Credo reference, and I'm not sure how often they're going to be updating that, but I will certainly find that out for you, Andrew, and I believe I'll have your email address within your registration form, and I'll find out from Credo how often they intend to update that. Thank you for your question. Okay, were there any other questions? Let's see, I think that's the only one that I see. Yes, but if you do have a question, please let me know. The other piece that I wanted to call your attention to is particularly for the K through 6 students, there are several good resources on STEM in the Tumble books, both in our chapter books and in our animated storybooks. And you can see in the tab at the top, the math stories are there highlighted in the red tab, where you can see the various stories for different aspects of concepts and math and counting coins, etc. You can also click on the View All Titles here to just be able to see them all together in one collection. So that's one thing that you can do. There are also there's also some odd little books that happen to be really good, like a neat little book on electricity that explains electricity, and others here for the K through 6ers. So that's going to be something that you don't want to forget when you are working with the younger students with your STEM resources. So some of the informational text that I was talking about is going to get pretty advanced pretty quickly, but I'm going to pull up that sheet for those of you that might not have been on quite yet at the beginning of the session. I pulled up a handout that I'm going to be sending to you and posting to our website. But you can see that the Academic Search Premier here, we've got A to Z list on STEM resources and Discus. I've tried to pull out those key pieces that you would be able to find within the databases, but some of these are really for your upper level students, possibly even your more advanced students. But I do want to point out here in Kids Infobits, we do have full text articles, reference sources, newspapers, images, and maps within Kids Infobits that are geared towards science, technology, and math types of subjects. We have over 600 videos on science topics for the K through 5, K through 6 levels there. The easiest way to access those is going to be by going into Kids Infobits, whichever way you find the quickest route. And for you as the librarians, the easiest way to locate these and to show them to your teachers will be through the advanced search that you find in Kids Infobits here. And you can just scroll down to the content type and choose videos and search. And you don't even really need to put a topic in, but if you are looking for a specific topic, obviously you could do that. Notice there are over 600. These are nice because they aren't as long as some of the videos you're going to find in Learn 360. If they're just quickly needing a quick in and out on how electromagnets work, and they just want to quickly see that video, so you can see that this is like a 1 or 2 minute video that will explain a concept quickly that can be pulled into your Google Classroom so that they can just add it there. They can also search within the results of these videos. So if they are specifically looking at weather or water cycle or something specific that they're teaching on, it's easy to limit it that way. So what is weathering, weather safety, measurements, people in the summer, air masses, etc. So that is a great collection of videos support for you as well. Some of you may already know that when you do just a direct search in Kids Infobits here, and I'll just do one on math here, that the students will get a variety of resources so they can learn how to cite pictures, magazines, and newspapers. If they're doing a presentation, etc. They're going to be able to get a variety of resources in Kids Infobits there. If I go back and do another one, we'll just do robots here as an example. You can see that there is some rich information here from books, pictures, magazines, and newspapers as well. You are able to distinguish which of those content levels are more advanced by looking at the content level key. So we know that the green level here is basic. This is an intermediate article. And you can see that that also follows through with the other types of sources as well. Those of you who are familiar with the Gale databases will also note and remember that in Biography and Context, you're going to be able to pull all kinds of information about mathematicians, engineers, through the Browse People section at the top. They can go through and browse people and look at the various ones that would relate to your STEM fields. At one point, they got to the down to saying mathematicians. We have the broader scientists here, explorers, etc. But they can also search on the keyword of a particular STEM-related person and also find specifics on mathematicians, for example. So they're not limited to just browsing. And I'll just see as far as game developer, here's video game developers. So if you want them to write out on someone else who has worked in this and how they got into their career and what kinds of contributions they made to the field, Biography and Context is another that you don't want to forget about there. A lot of these we use a lot of the times, but we just don't realize, oh, there's something just right under our noses that we could use. Checking really quickly again for as far as the questions go. I do not see another question yet, but certainly if you have questions, please let me know. So going back to our little list here that I mentioned before that I'm going to post up for you, the Learning Express library has a lot of computer skills tutorials and math and science ebooks. Many times we focus on the SAT and PSAT and ACT practice tests here, and that's important for the high schoolers. But notice that we do have different modules for grades 4 through 12 also in that Learning Express library. So if I quickly go back to my Discus here and go into Learning Express, I can point out quickly where those will be located for you if you just want to do an activity in the library or you want to show it to your teachers of these. But those are located in the school center of Learning Express library, broken out by elementary, middle, and high school. So you can see that there'll be various practice tests and technology skills improvement, science skills improvement here. A lot of these are linked out to the ebooks. And I'll just pull up the ebooks here for you to be able to see a variety of some of the helps that they can pull down on their computers. Notice also they will need to sign in and register as an individual student. The reason for that is, let's see if I can get myself in here. The reason for that is if they've already used an ebook, whenever they go into their own My Center, they're going to be able to see the books that they've recently used, any recent tests that they've taken, any computer courses that they've worked with, and be able to pick them up and finish them. So you can see I have several in progress here under test and several completed, but then they would be able to kind of follow up with that and finish if they wanted to do that as well. So these are some really nice technology building. I'll just pull up the internet basics here. This one is about protecting yourself online, but they also have the modules that are going to go into, as I said before, your Microsoft Office, so they can learn about different pieces of that, different operating systems and how you use those. So that's also a sleeper that some people just simply aren't aware of when they're working with teachers who may have some of these questions indeed. One of the sources that I did not go into, but I will briefly, and I know that your time is just about up for the 30-minute session, but I did want to pull up Britannica School because with this, you are able to really break out resources for that elementary, middle, and high level here. And they're going to be able to explore a lot of concepts and pieces within Britannica as well, to pull images, to pull information from atlases or maps, etc. And I'm just going to type in water cycle here as an example. And you can notice there are videos, quick little videos that the students can actually use for presentations, but also it breaks out images, magazines, primary sources, if any of those are available, if there's been any legislation about things to do with climate, that kind of thing. But you can see that every one of these resources does have the citation. So if students want to use it in a presentation, or if teachers want to use it, they're able to pull that in and be able to cite it and use it properly there. Teachers also have that option to send it out to Google Classroom as well. So I know that we've taken a really quick dive into STEM today. This is only the beginning. If you guys have any individual questions, I really encourage you to email me if you have questions later. Someone actually emailed me and said, I really need information on hurricanes. Where can I find it? And I was able to sort of guide them to different resources pretty quickly. So if you are short on time and you're just wanting to know anything like that, I'll be glad also to provide you that support as well. I'm just going to quickly go back into my final slide here, because I do want to encourage you to continue to take advantage of our webinars that are coming up. If you're preparing for African American or Black History Month, January 25th and February 5th, we have two great webinars coming up for that. And you can find all of these linked from the training tab at scdiscus.org.